All right. So yes, as we were talking about just a moment ago, I asked everybody what are some characteristics of your ideal job, and a lot of people said, working from home, flexibility, getting above average pay, and freedom is a big part of that. So we're going to talk about all those things tonight as we get into our information session here with Neotech Academy. And again, my name is Eric. Great to have you folks with us tonight. Now, why a career in IT? Why even thinking about, for a lot of you, why even think about transitioning to a career in IT? Well, think about this. Some of the fastest growing occupations are in IT. For the next generation, everything is going to be tech related. Jobs are available in all major cities, and as a lot of you said a moment ago, before we went officially on the air here, you said that you wanted to work remotely. A lot of those remote positions are available. As a matter of fact, there are more remote jobs available today than at any point in our history. If you are required, though, to go into an office, a lot of IT companies have some pretty cool work environments. You probably have seen videos on this on Instagram or TikTok or YouTube where someone shows you, what they do at their job in the IT industry, what the buildings are like, the offices are like, and a lot of them will give you free lunches. Not all of them, some of them, but some of them will. Gym memberships, generous vacation time, which a lot of you said that was important prior to us going on the air a moment ago. Of course, you've got the higher compensation, which we're going to talk about in just a minute. That's what people really care about. How much money can I make doing this? So we'll go through that in just a few minutes. You've got the 401k, the bonuses, the insurances. IT careers really do check a lot of boxes for many people. Now, when you think about COVID, remember we went through that, just a few years ago, when the world was shutting down, well, the IT industry thrived. Why is that? Because a lot of the jobs were already remote as it was. And so COVID only increased those opportunities. I would say this, the one silver lining to the pandemic was that it taught people a couple of things. The first thing it taught people, I think, is that tomorrow is not a guarantee. How many of you would agree with that, by the way, that tomorrow is not a guarantee? Unfortunately, it isn't, right? And it taught us that we've got to have a plan B. And a career in IT has become and will continue to become a plan B and even a plan A, for thousands of people around the world. Now, let's address a few things that we're going to talk about a number of times tonight. So you're going to hear me repeat this a few times, okay? Don't worry if English is your second language. That's a big question I get. If it is your second language, yes, do you have to communicate? Yes, of course. In the US and Canada, but do you have to be a complete expert in the English language? If English is your second language, I would say no, but just as long as you can communicate, so don't worry if, English is your second language, not that big of a deal. Your background, that is something which a lot of people are concerned about. They're like, you know what? I don't have a background in IT. Does that matter? I don't have a 4-year degree, some people will say. Or they will say, I have a 4-year degree, but it's not in IT. Do you realize, and again, you'll hear me say this a few times tonight, that a lot of companies don't really care about your education, about your background. What they really care about is, can you do the job? And we're going to train you to do the jobs. And we'll be very specific in just a few minutes on those jobs that we're going to be training you to do. Okay, so just hang tight. Also, I've gotten this question pretty often. Does it matter what my age is? Because it can be scary. When you're in your 40s, you're in your 50s, even your 60s, and you're thinking about transitioning to a new career. Again, your age doesn't matter. What matters is, do you have the skills, which we're going to teach you, to do the job? We even teach you how to how to respond to questions during the interview process. We're going to have you work on actual projects. So that will actually be put on your resume, on your CV, because you want to keep in mind what we're talking about tonight is a boot camp. And if you've ever been in military service, you know that in a boot camp, you learn a lot of things. You're taught many things in a very short amount of time. So that when the bullets are flying, so to speak, over your head, and it's the real deal, you'll know exactly what to do. So that's what we're doing here. We're not firing bullets at you, but we are having you work hands-on on projects to give you the skills that you need so that you can land that first job and get that and get the pay that you deserve. Now, one thing I've noticed before I advance here, I, I've noticed this recently that we're seeing a lot of people from the healthcare industry, for whatever reason, that are transitioning to IT. We're seeing a lot of teachers, people from the I'm noticing we're seeing more and more people from the mortgage industry transitioning to the IT industry. But don't worry, no matter what it is you're doing, I don't care if you're parking cars right now, or if your primary source of income is driving Uber or something like that. Again, it's can you do the job? But as I proceed, and then I'm going to look back over here to the chat in just a few minutes. Would you mind typing into the chat the industry you're currently in, and of course you're looking to make a transition potentially to IT, but where are you right now? Like, what are you doing right now? If you wouldn't mind typing to the chat, and I'm going to check out some of those responses here in just a few minutes. Okay. Now, what exactly is a software tester? What we actually be doing as a quality assurance, a QA engineer? Well, let me ask you a very rhetorical question. Have you ever used an application such as Facebook or Instagram or YouTube or TikTok or something like that, or Uber? I mentioned Uber a moment ago. Of course you have. Now, why am I asking you that? Because if you've used an application in the past, you know what a good application that works is like. You use it and it functions properly. When you try to make a purchase on the app, your purchase goes through, everything's fine, it functions well. All right. So that's what you bring to the table. You have used technology in the past. So what we do is we give you some hands-on expertise added to what you already know, meaning what you've already used in the past, putting it all together, and you learn with our help how to do software testing. Now, a software tester's role, guys, is very important to a company. Why do I say that? Because you are charged with making sure that the software functions properly and is free of any defects. Because think about it, if you're the company, you don't want to launch a flawed product and get killed with bad reviews. That makes sense, doesn't it? I mean, think of all the money that would cost you. So that's where you come into play. You are looking for the defects, the bugs, before the end, any flaw, before the end user, the customer actually finds it. Now, one question would be, well, how will I know what to look for? Don't worry, because you'll be given what's called a list of requirements. You'll simply go through the requirements. It's like a checklist, and it could be something very simple. It could be, the wrong color scheme. It could be the font isn't correct, or it could be something major where you try to use the application and it crashes. Now, here's the good news, okay? So you're the software tester. You try to find something that's wrong with the program, but it's not your job to fix it. Isn't that great? Isn't that great news? So the developer is going to fix it. It's just your job to locate the problems. Now, somebody might ask, well, why won't they have the software developer just check their own work? Oh, that's not always good for somebody to check their own work. I mean, when you were in school, you may have handed in some paper, handed in some work, and you thought it was all perfect. And the teacher hands it back a couple of days later, or maybe the next day, and it's got all this red ink all over it because all the mistakes that you made. So checking it yourself is like an author, editing their own book. It might work, but there's a good chance it probably won't because they're more myopic. They might see something that really isn't there. They might not notice the flaws, in other words. So that's why the developers don't check it themselves. The companies, all these companies around the world, what they'll do is they will hire software testers. They find the bugs. They act like they're the end user. The developer then is the person who actually makes the corrections. Does that make sense? Does that give you kind of like a 30,000-foot view of what a software tester does? I'll just look over here at the chat and see if I get any responses on that, to see if that makes any kind of sense to you guys. Okay, very good, very good. Now the salaries, look at that. The salaries are higher than the national average. Most major tech companies are seeking software testers, and it's a great way to begin your IT career. And of course, like I was saying a moment ago, we're going to teach you everything you need to know. So what we've done is we created a boot camp that teaches people from scratch on how to become competent in and have a career in IT. And like I say, guys, you'll hear me say it a couple times tonight. Many successful software testers, most of them are not actually college graduates, as that's not a requirement in many cases. Employers just want to know if you can do the job, which we're going to train you to do. All right. Now, how do we do our training? We do it via Zoom. You can interact with your instructors in real time, so it's super convenient. If you also cannot make the sessions live, that's okay, because we record them. You can watch them at your convenience. It doesn't even matter if you miss it. You won't get behind on your homework, hopefully. You might want to watch the sessions as soon as you can, though. But you can interact. If you can't attend live, you can interact with your instructors. There is some homework, like I said. It's like going back to school in many ways, but guys, what you're going to be doing is learning what would take most people 2, 3+ years. You're going to learn what they would learn in about 6 months. So instead of it taking 2, 3 years, you're learning all this in a very short amount of time. So what a lot of people will do is once they get their career going in software testing, they might choose other paths after graduation. They might choose something referred to as software development engineer and test, otherwise known in the industry as SDET for short. They might move on to a test lead, automation test engineer. So the sky is really the limit. What we're going to do is get you trained so that you're able to actually get that help, get that first job. We would help you land that first job. We can't guarantee you'll get hired right away, but we will help you, and we are incentivized to help you land that first job, which I'll tell you more about how that works in just a little bit. All right. Course Report is pretty well respected in this industry. So in 2023, they actually rated us as the best quality assurance QA, in other words, testing boot camp. So the best QA testing boot camp for 2023. We're very proud of that. Again, guys, it's a 6-month accelerated course. It begins September 15th. I asked you to write that down earlier, so I'm sure you guys did. We'll keep saying it over and over tonight, September 15th, September 15th. And once you complete the course, again, sky's the limit. You're on your way to making potentially a lot more than the national average in other career paths. There aren't so many career paths that you can choose where you can make that kind of money so soon. Because you could have a white collar type job, but you might start entry level, very entry level, and it could be 4, 5, 6, 10 years before you're making like really quality money. Here, you can start making potentially that quality money very, very quickly, sometimes even right out of the gate. And you'll hear from one of our grads later. Be sure to ask him some questions about his situation and how that worked out for him. So after starting your career as a software tester, like I was talking about a moment ago, you're going to be exposed to many tools and languages throughout our program. But again, you can use your new career as a software tester as a springboard into these other career paths. So if you look at your screen, you've got, you could be an ETL tester. You could be a cybersecurity analyst, a scrum master. I always like to point out that's not actually a rugby term. But when you look at these, you might think, man, that seems overwhelming. I haven't heard of any of these things before. But just like anything that you learn in life that's new, once you are taught it and then you actually do it, it really starts to sink in. And what seems to be overwhelming at first, once you start doing it, you'll realize, man, it's not really overwhelming at all. Will it be a new language for a lot of you? For most of you, if not potentially all of you? Yes, it will be. But just like when you take a hard class in school, like I'm sure a lot of you guys took, or maybe not everyone, but maybe you took calculus in high school, and you're like, you know what, man, calculus was really, really hard. At first, I don't know, but maybe by the second semester, what you learned in the first semester wasn't really all that difficult. In other words, by the second semester, what you'd already learned in the first semester, you got down by that point. Now, what we do here, here's why I point that out to you. We are big believers in what I call experiential training or education. where you are, like I was saying, not just simply told what to do and that's it. Yes, we tell you what to do, we teach you what to do, but then we have you actually do it, and then we evaluate you to make sure that you're actually doing it correctly. So, what I want to do now is introduce you to one of the founders of Neotech Academy and lead instructor. His name is Elion, and he's going to give you a little bit more information about Neotech Academy, the boot camp, and even some information about himself, which I'm sure you'll definitely want to hear. And he'll be interviewing one of our grads in just a few minutes. So, Elion, do you want to go ahead and take it away?
Thank you. Thank you so much, Eric. So I'm going to start sharing my screen and talk a little bit about the program and everything. So as Eric said, so my name is Elion Limanai, and I've been a software developer for 20 years right now. And and we created this program together with our friends to make sure that we help people be able to learn, right, these tools from zero, from nothing. They learn these tools, and at the end of the bootcamp, at the end of 6 months, they're able to find a job and able to go to the interviews and to present themselves in a way that they can find a job. So I'm going to talk about a little bit about the flow of the program, and then also the schedule, the hours of the program. And I'm going to invite one of our alumni. He was a student 1 year ago, and now he's working as a software tester, and you can ask your questions to him. So one of the parts that we teach in our bootcamp is manual testing. So manual testing is doing the tests, right? Doing the tests manually. So as we already talked about it, right? So QA or software engineer in test, right? As that, or QA engineer stands for those people who are responsible to make sure that the software is working as expected. So let us suppose that we work on an app. Let's say, let me take an example. Let's say Facebook, right? Facebook.com is also an application. So people log in there, they're able to see their friends, they're able to share materials with other people, to share posts, and then to make like the comments are there, likes and dislikes and whatever are possible in that platform. So the job of the software tester is to make sure that all these things are working as expected. So let us suppose that you're sharing something and you want your friends to see it, and you don't want some specific people to see it. The tester will make sure that those scenarios are working as expected. And doing this thing manually, like with your keyboard and with your mouse, is called manual testing. So you can work as a manual tester, but of course the salaries are low, and let's say it's around 60,000-70,000 a year. And that's why, for that purpose, we teach more to our students. So we want them to learn coding. So even nowadays, even more companies are switching from manual testing to automation testing, right? It's called automation because it's done automatically by the code, by the script. So at the beginning of the bootcamp, we teach about programming language. And in our case, we teach Java programming language. Java is one of the strongest programming languages. And there are a lot of different languages that you can do the same thing. But of course, if you learn one of them, and if you learn especially one that is commonly used, even if we go to the interviews and if they're in their company, they're using another tool or another programming language, still they hire you because you know the process, you know how everything works there, right? So the first 3 months, we're going to teach about Java programming language. After you learn those things, and I know the first 3 months is difficult because you come from zero, you don't know anything about coding, but at the end of 3 months, you learn Java. Then we teach the other tools, right? Like Selenium, and I'm gonna show them also visually to them. So Selenium, TestNG, Cucumber. So those are the tools that I use to automate those tests, to communicate with the browser, to open the browser, to log in there, and to do all these things. You can do them with combination of Java, Selenium, and then TestNG and Cucumber are the tools that I used to do these tests together, to report them, and to make sure that if something is going wrong, you have to report it, right? So you have to tell to the team that, you know what, I tried to post something and to hide it from specific people, but they were able to see it. So that's a bug in the system. You don't want it to happen. So you report it to the team. And the developers, what they do, they reiterate, they try to fix the problem. And then when everything is fixed, they make a new update. And then again, you make your test. So that is the process in a company that is writing a software. So after this part, guys, after these 3 things that we teach, then you can apply to jobs as a as a front-end tester. Front-end means a person, right? The users, they see the software, whatever it's exposed to the users, it's called front-end. But of course, it's also the back part. All these data are stored in something we call a database. So all this information are stored in the back. So you as a software tester, you can test the front part of the software and then work as software front-end testers. But also you are able, right? In our bootcamp, we also teach about back-end testing. So we teach about database, we teach about API, and then you learn how to test also the back part of the software. So by knowing those tools, you are exposed to more job openings. So you're exposed to front-end testing, back-end testing, and if you know both of them, it's also called full stack testing because you know front-end and back-end. So these are the tools, right? The things that we teach during our 6-month bootcamp. But of course, we also teach you, right, soft skills. So 1 day per week is we have prepared in a way that 1 day a week we prepare you for the soft skills. So what is the terminology that is used in this industry, right? So you do the meetings every day. What are these meetings called? We call them stand-up meetings. We call them sprint. We do the sprint grooming. So this terminology, you don't know, right? When you come to the bootcamp, you are with zero information, but you learn those technology, those terminology step by step, so that you are prepared for the interviews. And also towards the end of the bootcamp, we teach you how to prepare your resume, how to apply for the jobs. And even after we're done with the bootcamp, you learn about everything, you learn how to apply. Still, we have our team. We call it the career placement team. That team will help you with, right, after the application. So for example, you do the applications, you get a question from a recruiter saying that, oh, can you share with me your green card picture, whatever. Are you supposed to share your green card with them? So we also help you with this information. For example, they give you an offer. Let's say it is hourly, right? Hourly 50,000, and you have another offer which is yearly 90,000. So $50 an hour or 90,000 a year. So we help you also make sure that you maximize your compensation to make sure that you are right. You are getting the best from the market. So these are, right, as I said, these are the flow of the bootcamp, and these are the tools. I know that there are a lot of tools here. I don't want you to get scared, but we're going to teach them one by one. So I mentioned a couple of them. I mentioned about Java, which is one of the strongest programming languages, and we spend a good amount of time, like first 3 months, with teaching Java. After we're done with that, Selenium. Selenium is, as I said, the tool that allows you to interact with the browser to make sure that you are opening the browser, right? You are sending information there and everything. If you have a question, you can ask questions there in chat, and then we can answer it if it's related to the topic, or we can answer it later if it's not related. So as I said, right, Selenium, right? Selenium is the tool that we teach after Java. Then we teach about Jira software. So what is Jira, right? It's one of the tools that is used in the IT industry to make sure that you share the task in the team, because normally you're not going to work alone. There are the developers. There are 5 developers in a team. There are 2 or 3 testers in a team. You have a product owner. So you make sure that you split the tasks in a way that everybody is doing their part. And that is, right, the Jira software is used about it. Then we have Maven. We have Postman. So Postman and Rest Assured are tools that are used for backend testing. Then we have TestNG and Cucumber, the tools that I talked, that are about, let's say, creating, right, doing the test and then generating the report so that you can share with the team and make sure that I did 1,000 tests and from them 950 passed, 50 didn't pass, and then you can go one by one over those tests that didn't pass. And then we're going to teach about GitHub and Jira. So there's a lot of different tools here, but we're going to go to them one by one. We start from 0 and then we build on top of each tool. So one more time, right? Let me go over how we, right, what do we offer, how these things work. So during our bootcamp, we have a couple of real projects. So you're going to have a project, right? A manual testing project, a group project, an individual project, so that you are prepared step by step, and then you are, right, you are ready for the market. So in a like, you're going to work in a team to make sure that you're collaborating with other people, right? So that is the experience that you get during the bootcamp. as I mentioned, the tools I just showed them, these are the current, right? The tools that are used in the market right now, right? In the technology right now. But of course, even if I want to mention it, even if a company is using different tools, still you're gonna be able to land a job, because as long as you know those tools, you'll be able to use other tools, and you'll be able to learn all other tools. All the bootcamp, right? All the course is done online. As of right now, we're doing this session through Zoom, and I'm going to share this session with you guys so that you can watch it later again, and maybe you can share it with your friends who are interested. The same thing with our bootcamp. During the bootcamp, all the classes are online. So we're going to do it through Zoom. You're going to be able to join, to ask questions, and to make sure that you are able to, let's say, to join the classes. But of course, all these classes are recorded. They are shared with you so that after the class, you can rewatch it if you want to watch it again, or maybe if you couldn't join the class, you can watch the recording later. So all the recordings will be shared with you every class. We have our training and mentorship support. So we have our mentors, people who have been working in the market for like 5 years right now, right? 3 to 5 years right now. Those people will help you with questions that you have in small group settings. So after first 3 or 4 months, right, when you learn general things, after that, then we create these groups so that, let's say, 10 students, they have their assigned mentor, and they join every week. They meet with him and they ask questions, and they also will do the project together. So they'll do a project as a team, and the mentor will be there to guide them through the project. As I said, right, we also help you with the after part, right? So how to prepare a resume, where to apply, how to apply, when to apply, and also, right, and also to make sure that you are ready for the market. So for that reason, we also do something, we call it mock interview. So before you go to the real interviews, one of our mentors, one of our instructors will interview you one-on-one. We'll ask you questions about Java, questions about all these tools that we teach, and see if you're there. If you are ready, then we give the okay to you, you passed, and then you start applying for the jobs. If you're not ready, we say, you know what, go back and then work a little bit more on Java information. Go back, work on the database, right, on the database information, stuff like that, so that you are ready for the market, to make sure that you go strong to the market and not with all the knowledge that is required there. So we have a lot of alumni, and then with different recruiters, will try to help you land the job, ace a job in a top tech company. And also, as I said, our job placement team will help you with, you're going to prepare the resume. Our team will go over your resume. We're going to give you feedback. Let's fix it. Let's make it better. And then whenever everything is ready, we're going to help you with some tips and information how to make sure that you are getting interviews, passing the interviews, and at the end, finding the job that you are dreaming. So this is the schedule of our bootcamp. As Eric mentioned, it will start on September 15th. It's our 8th batch. We have done 7 groups so far. A lot of people have graduated. A lot of people are working in the industry. So the schedule is done in a way so people who are working still will be able to work. Of course, the more time people spend during the bootcamp, the easier it will be for them during the bootcamp and also at the end to find the job. But the minimum schedule, guys, is Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 3 days a week from 7 p.m. to 10 p.m. So it's 3 hours on Tuesday, 3 hours on Wednesday, 3 hours on Thursday. So it's a total of 9 hours during the weekdays. Also, during the weekends, Saturday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m., Sunday from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. So 4 hours on Saturday, 4 hours on Sunday. So it's a total of 17 hours of classes. You're going to watch the classes. We're going to give you homework after the classes. You can rewatch it if you have time and you want to watch it again to understand it even better. All the times, guys, are Eastern time. So if you are in a different time zone, make sure you do the calculation so that you know the schedule. So for example, if you are in California, then this time will be from 4 p.m. to 7 p.m., right? And then on the weekends, it's from 8 a.m. to 12, right, to noon. So these are the hours. Make sure that you prepare yourself to be ready to join the classes. If you're not able to join the classes, as I said, guys, those will be recorded. Those will be shared with you. But of course, we strongly suggest you guys to join the class on time. Strongly suggest you to be with a group because you motivate each other. Hopefully, if you have a friend, maybe you study together with them so that you don't miss anything during the boot camp. It's a marathon, guys. So I know it looks easy. You see right now, okay, I can do it. Please prepare yourself. This boot camp will start in September. It will be done in March. So during these 6 months, guys, you should dedicate yourself. You should commit yourself to make sure that you are getting the best from the boot camp. If you don't take the boot camp seriously, guys, you will not gonna learn the topics. You're gonna have a lot of difficulties. You're gonna stress out, and at the end, you're not gonna be able to find a job. I am telling this one upfront because I want to make sure that you know what you're signing up for. Instead of doing a 4 years college degree, right? A lot of people, as Eric mentioned, right? A lot of people, they graduate from a let's say college, but maybe they're not able to find a job at the end, right? The boot camp is 6 months. It's accelerated course. So during the 6 months, you have to take it seriously. And at the end of the 6 months, if you learn everything, you'll be able, right? You're going to learn, you're going to have those skills, you're going to learn those tools, and you're going to be able to go to the interviews and find the job. So if you promise these things, guys, if you promise that you'll spend the time, you'll join the classes, you study everything, at the end, I promise you that you're going to be able to find a job. You're going to be able to ace the interviews, okay? So as of right now, guys, I'm going to invite one of our students here, which he was a student, but now he's an alumni. Let me share. Okay, let me invite him as a panelist.
Hello.
Hey, I think you have somebody there.
Uh, I have some friends in there.
It's okay. It's okay. How are you doing? How's it going?
I'm good, Elian. It's good to see you. How are you?
Good, good. So, by the way, guys, Mohammed, he was in your shoes a year ago. He graduated from the boot camp. He was able to find a job at the end, and now he's working as a software tester for some months. So please, Mohammed, tell whatever. Let me what your experience was, and then I'm going to go over their question. I'm going to direct their questions to you. So, guys, if you have any question, please use the chat section of the Zoom.
Yeah, okay. So I want to shortly mention about my experience. So I know this is a big thing. So I didn't have any IT experience before. I was working at the restaurants, like as a server, cook, whatever. But I was able to try to join all the classes, live classes. Even I missed, like I was watching the recorded videos, doing my homeworks. And then after the boot camp, I was able to find a job in 2, 3 months latest. Yeah, I got a lot of interviews. I got actually 2 offers. I accepted one of them. I want to say thank you again to Neotech Academy. They help from like the first day to until you find a job. Even I was bothering you guys after I found a job, but they were still helping. Yeah, I can take any questions.
Yeah, definitely. So I'm going to ask some questions before I go to their questions. But first of
Mhm.
all, so did you have, so that is a very important question because most of the students have the same question. Did you have any experience or any IT knowledge prior to bootcamp?
No, I didn't. Like I said, I was working at the restaurant. I didn't have any. I was studying mechanical engineering in Turkey. I didn't have any university degree. I came here, start working in the restaurants, and then I saw the Neotech Academy. Um, Joining the classes, doing homeworks were totally enough for me to successfully complete the boot camp.
Okay, perfect. So you had the degree in Turkey, you said, and then just to make sure, guys. So the boot camp, right? The boot camp is, so if you're joining, so this info session is for people who are joining from US or Canada. So if you're joining from USA or Canada, then you're gonna be able to find a job here. If you are from Turkey or Europe or Albania or any country, wherever you are, guys, then you're not gonna be able to find a job in United States. I want to say this one upfront. If you're there, then you are able to find a job in Europe, but not in the United States. So you have to have the work permit in United States if you want to find a job. So it doesn't work like that, so that you are remotely from another country and you can find a job here. It doesn't work. So I just want to make sure I specify that one.
Yeah.
So now a question here is about I don't know what this one means, but what is the pyramid of advancement in as a QA engineer? So I think you're talking about, so first you are a junior, then a senior, then you become a test lead. I guess that is the question. So if you can clarify even more that question, Henry, maybe we can answer it to you. So another one is so there's a person here. He has manual testing knowledge, so he learned it before. His English is not very good. Will he be able to learn Java related lessons? And he is good with tools, but he's not with coding. So what do you suggest to him?
Yes, like of course, you should be able to understand the classes. It's all English, but you don't have to know perfect English. Like you see, I have a heavy accent. I was able to join the interviews, understand all the classes, get the job. So of course, like you don't have to have like perfect English, but at least you should be able to understand the classes. That's what I would say.
Yeah, perfect. So like if you're listening to us, if you understand 100% what we're saying, that should be enough for you to understand the classes. Of course, there are technical terminology and you're going to learn the technical. So also we had American students and they don't know the technical terminology. Maybe they're perfect in English. Their English is 100 times better than mine. But of course, they need to learn the technical terminology, okay? So as long as you can understand us, as long as you are able to explain yourself, because you're going to go yourself to the interviews and then you're going to answer the question in the interview. If you're not able to speak, then I wouldn't suggest you to take the bootcamp. But if you have an accent, like me or Mohammed, you should be good to go. So another one with limited English problem, same thing. So about certification. So did you get any certification during the bootcamp or after the bootcamp? So did you need any certification to find the job? So that's a question about the certification.
No, I didn't need any certification. So I want to mention that everything you learned during the bootcamp is more than enough. Like currently, I'm not using any of the tools that I learned from Neotech Academy, but I was still able to get hired because they know I can do Java, so that means I can do C#, like or any other tools. So no certification needed. Just focus the classes, get what they are teaching in the Neotech Academy. Like everything is more than enough.
Okay, so even if in the company they're using different tools, they still hire you. They give you time to learn those tools. By the way, how long have you been working right now?
Little bit over than a year.
A year? Okay, and then still you're in the same company, right? You didn't switch. You didn't switch to another company.
Not
is it
yet.
a full-time? Is it a let's say full-time job, or it's like a contract based?
Full-time job.
And you have benefits and everything?
Yes, all the benefits. I'm currently on my PTO. I have 21 day paid time off. Like I have all the insurances, sick days off, 401k.
That's good. And thank you for joining. I thank you for joining us during your PTO.
Yeah, sure.
And another thing is, what about like, it's not a question there, but it's a question in my mind that a lot of people ask you. So what about during the first couple of months at the job? Was it difficult? Were you stressed? And how did you pass that stress?
Okay, if I say I wasn't stressed, of course that would be a big lie. I was stressed, but so during the boot camp I learned the logic. So even I have a question or struggle, I was able to find it by myself. Like I said, currently I'm not using any of the tools that I learned from Neotech Academy, but I was able to convert all the code to the tools what I'm currently using by myself. So because the reason I see that Neotech Academy like teach the logic really well, So that means like you can do even.
Yeah. And by the way, we go step by step to make sure that you understand. So also our admission specialist, he shared the link there, guys. So if you go to the chat section, you can go there and you can request for free lessons, so you can see the first couple of weeks. You can understand how we're teaching, and if you like it or not, then you can make a decision according to that. I see a question about discount. Do I get a discount if I pay in advance? Yes, you get a 5% discount if you pay the full price in advance. By the way, later Eric will go over the price. So what are the discounts that we have? And then also there's another discount if you pay it in full at the beginning, okay? So a question for you. And by the way, this question, everybody will answer differently. So this is whatever it's your take. So how much time did you put aside outside of the schedule that I just showed? So how much time did you spend during the week?
I was just doing the homeworks. And if I missed the class or if I didn't understand the specific class, I was rewatching the classes. That's all I did. I didn't do like really. I know some of my classmates, they were working extra, but I think it was enough to just join in classes, rewatching the classes if you didn't understand, and do homeworks. I think that was pretty enough.
And this always changes, guys, depending on your age, depending on your gender. Of course, we're not. So depending on also the way that you think. So whatever the background you have, maybe you had a mechanical engineering degree, so maybe it was a little bit easier for you. But also we have had a lot of students who come from, let's say, finance or come from education, from other backgrounds. Also, those are able to do it. So there's a question about working permit. By the way, guys, please ask your lawyer, right, about your permit, if you are able to work in the United States or not. So I cannot answer your questions about your working permit. As long as you're allowed to work here, then you can, right? Then you can apply for the jobs. Then you can do the bootcamp. So, and of course, we don't check your working permit, guys. Like there are people who say, you know what, I'm on the process of getting the green card. Can I do it? Of course, just do it now. And then whenever you get the green card, then you can start applying for the jobs. So it's up to you. It's not, I mean, we cannot decide about you. So if we don't have knowledge in programming languages, how capable can we be in the competitive market that is right now? Are we able to find the job? Mm-hmm. What do you think, Mohammed?
So as a tester, you don't have to know the coding as like developers. You like in bootcamp, you learn the Java basics, and that's pretty enough. And also, they start teaching from the beginning. I remember the first class, you just learn how to print hello world. So you start learning from the really beginning to like how much you need to know. Of course, like coding is a big ocean. You can go as much as deep as you want to go, but you learn like what you need as a social as a QA engineer, I would say.
So another person, Henry says he lives in New York City and he has the documents. So if you know me, Henry, you can come and see me and we can talk together. I think I know you. So another question is about the certificates. We just talked about it. So during the bootcamp, guys, of course, when you're done, we share, right? We are going to give you a certificate at the end. But the purpose of the bootcamp is not getting a certificate from us. The purpose of the bootcamp is you being able to find the job. And finding a job, you're going to be able to find a job with the skills that you have. You can have this certificate. You can also get other certificates, which can be a plus for you. But those are not a must for you, right? Those are not a must. And as I said, the purpose of the bootcamp is to be able for you to have those skills and to find a job at the end. Now, a question about how many applications did you make in total, like during your job hunting, let's say?
I don't know. I would say 1,000.
1,000 applications. And then how many interviews did you have?
I probably got like around 20. Like
20
it can be less or more.
Okay, and then one company had multiple interviews sometimes, right?
Yes.
And then how many offers did you get at the end?
I got 2 offers, and then I accepted the one which was the automation tester. The other one was the manual testing.
Okay, and then when you got two offers, were they both remote or were they hybrid or on the site?
The other one was hybrid. Currently, I'm working from home.
You're working from home. Okay, and then what about the working hours? Are them like normal 8 to 4 or 9 to 5, something like that?
8 to 5, but is really flexible. Like, of course, it depends on the company, but like I go outside, get my coffee, eat my breakfast, come home, start working. Like, as soon as you are done with your work, they really don't like question it, but they can change company to company. But I'm really relaxed and comfortable in my company.
What about, did you ask your company if you go back to Turkey, do they allow you to work from there for a month or so, or you didn't ask? You
Yeah,
didn't need to ask
I
them?
asked. There are some countries they allow. Turkey is not one of them.
Oh, so depending on the company, right? And depending
Yeah,
on the project that you're working on. So sometimes some company
exactly.
have more security issues, so they're more careful. And then you said that you got two offers. Okay, we answered the question there. By the way, were their salaries similar or close to each other, or like were they different? If you can give a range between
Yeah,
the salaries.
I can say. So on the paper I saw it is 80,000 to 100,000 is in this range, a little bit closer to upper.
Okay, and then again, always depending on the position and depending on
Yeah.
the company. Okay, good. So, okay, how available are the institutes? You mean, I believe instructors, if we have any questions during the day. So to explain you guys, and Mohammed can confirm it. So we have the classes. During the classes, we have an instructor, and also we have two people like assistants, which will help you if you have any technical problems. Outside of the classes, instructors can be available or not, but we have people who help you also outside of the hours. So outside of the hours, if you have any questions with the homework, or if you have some technical problems, there is somebody assigned from our company which will help you during the weekdays and also during the weekend. And do you remember who was the assistant during your time, Mohammed?
So okay, first of all, I want to really say thank you to you and to Sabah. They are great teachers. You guys were the best teachers in my life. And then Ahmet was helping a lot. Ihsan was helping a lot. And our team lead was Diana was helping a lot.
It was also Clevis assistant during the time?
Sorry?
Was Clevis one of the assistants during the time?
No.
No. So it depends, because now we have even more assistants. During the time, maybe we had less students and less assistants, but now we have a lot of them, and we're gonna introduce them during the first day of the boot camp. So just, I don't know how it works in USA with this industry. Of course, it is important to have skills more than certifications. So as we said, right, Mohammed, he didn't have any certifications, right? Of course, there are some certificates that you can have to make sure that you have even more, I don't know, which can be a plus. But most of the companies, they interview you. They want to make sure that you know those tools. They know how to use those. You have those skills, and they can learn those things during the interviews with you. Okay, they can see your technical things. Can I take lesson 3 days a week and finish the course faster? I think that the bootcamp is done in a way that even with those things that we have done, and of course takes 3 days a week. No, we have 5 days a week, by the way. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday. If you want to go slower, we're sorry, we cannot adjust the time for you. But if you want, you can watch your videos at your own pace. So I don't know if that answers your question, but you cannot go faster than the class because you have to wait for the class. And I don't think that you can go faster, because there are a lot of things that are taught there, and you cannot. I mean, that's what I believe. But you can give it a try, and also we're going to talk about the 1 month, so you can try it for 1 month, see if it works for you, and then you can decide about yourself. You can see them in the following presentation. Only day I'm going to miss the class are Sunday. Is that a problem if I cover it? As long as you watch the class after, let's say you couldn't join the Sunday class, if you watch it later or Monday before the Tuesday class, you're good to go. But if you skip and if you don't watch it, that's a problem. So as long as you watch it, you should be okay, Barak. With which companies do you have a partnership that you can suggest to us? Any possibility of internship or employment considering our real skills during the course, our progress? Yeah, so as I said, we teach the skills, you do the projects there. So if you know any company that you can do internship, you can definitely do it. But we help you, as I said, we help you learn those skills and apply to the companies as an experienced tester with a couple of years of experience. Yeah, I'll share the phone number with you, Henry. No worries. How many students does the course? Wow, he has a lot of good questions. So how many students does the course have on average? So generally we have between 100 and 150 students, of course, depending on the time. So in the previous bootcamp, in previous batch, we had 150. In this one, we're expecting to have 120, 130. So it always depends on the people that register, but it's between 100 and 150, let's say, Henry. Do you have any time off like holidays? Yes. Very good. If we have Christmas, Eid, I don't know, 4th of July, all those are holidays. Other than that, guys, you're going to have classes. And of course, if it's a holiday in the United States, of course, we're gonna not have a class during that day. So we also give days off. Which days is going to be soft skills? I'm going to go to the presentation one more time. Wednesday. We use the Wednesday class for the soft skills. Thank you for asking that question, Hakan. Any other questions for Mohammed, guys? So these are questions for me, not for Mohammed. So have you been applying lately, Mohammed, or you just found the job and last year you have not been applying to other jobs?
No, after I found the job, I stopped applying. Sorry, after I start the job, I stopped applying.
Okay,
I was still applying.
Okay, do you know how is the market right now? Do you have any idea or you don't have any idea?
I have no idea right now.
So by the way, guys, market is always up and down. So sometimes, right, especially we know some months that is like, for example, January, December, those are slow months generally. During the summer also can be some slow months when a lot of companies, they don't want to open new things because they want to go to vacation. But let's say from September to November, generally from February to May, generally those are the times that there are a lot of openings. And of course, as I said, like the market, you can do a search and you can have a look about it. Do we need basic math for the QA? What do you think, Mohammed? During the bootcamp, did you have to do any difficult math?
No, if you know how to 2 plus 2, 2 times 2, 2 divided 2, that's enough.
Yeah, so during the bootcamp, a lot of people are scared. They say being a developer, let's say, or being a let's say programmer, you need a lot of math skills. In our bootcamp, you don't need to have very, very strong math knowledge, but you have to have the let's say problem solving skills. Let's say the way of thinking, and we teach them step by step how to do a for loop, how to do an if else and stuff like that. Okay. And yes, the market has been a little bit slow lately, but again, like even during this time, we had students, for example, last month, we have 6 students finding a job. So even during these tough times, there are people, and sometimes it becomes better. I'm hoping that in September and October, it's going to be even better. But of course, always the market can be up and down. And also, we don't know who will win the elections on November. Maybe it will affect also the market. Any other questions for Mohammed, guys, before I let him go? Okay, so Henry is congratulating you. He's saying you have a successful story. It looks like he also studied in Turkey. And he applauds you, let's say. Okay, I'm trying to translate whatever they're written there. So if you don't have any questions for Mohammed, guys, Mohammed, thank you very much for coming, for sharing your experience with them.
Of course.
You have guests, so say hi to them from me, okay?
All right. Yeah, thank you very much. And I wish good luck for everyone. And yeah, have a good night, everyone.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for joining, Mohammed. So I'm gonna continue my presentation and I'm gonna go back to the questions. So I saw Hakan asking about a question. So these are the classes, guys. These are very important. You have to be able to join, right? You have to be able to join this classes. And as I said, if you cannot join the Sunday class, definitely you have to watch it before the Tuesday class. And if you miss any of them, it's okay, because you might have some emergency, or maybe, sorry, you're not able to join, but definitely you're gonna watch the recording before the next class. So on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, guys, we do our technical. So we teach, let's say if we're teaching Java on Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday, we teach Java. On Sunday, we review the whole week. Generally, I do the review of the whole week to make sure that we wrap up whatever, so we don't learn anything new, but we repeat everything that we did, right, with examples, everything that we learned during the week. On Wednesdays, we have reserved that day for soft skill classes. We have done in a way that during the whole boot camp, you're learning some technical skills, some soft skills, you're reviewing everything, learning some technical skills, some soft skills, and it goes like that, so that you can be able to learn everything during the 6 months. Please, guys, promise, as I said, promise that you are specifying, right, dedicating yourself, committing yourself to the boot camp, and then at the end, you're going to be successful as Mohammed, and we have a lot of success stories from our students, okay? So I'm going to wrap it up one more time, guys. How do we learn? So we have classes live. Those are recorded. Those are shared with you. You can watch the recordings. We have small breaks during the classes, definitely. Yes. I thought you were asking for a break right now. I'm sorry, I'm not going to give a break right now. But during the classes, since there's a 3 hours class, so we do a 45 minutes class, 15 minutes break, 45 minutes class, and we give a break. So we give a couple of breaks during the classes. Yes, definitely. We have an individual project. We have a group project. We have office hours. So besides these hours, guys, also on Mondays, we have 1 hour, which one of our instructors, they have a session. If you have any questions, if you want to join, those are not mandatory. Also, you can join the office hours outside of the classes. So as we said, every class, we give homework, we give tasks, we solve the task together with the student. We give a homework for the next class. When the next class starts, first we solve the homework together, and then we continue with a new topic, okay? So we give coding challengings. We have a final assessment, which we call it mock interview, to make sure that you have learned everything. So once a week, we have these review classes on Sunday. We give quizzes once in a while to see if you're learning or not. And as I said, we also have our mentor sessions, which will be on Mondays also, outside of these hours here. On Mondays, extra hours. You have 1 hour with a mentor, meet with them in a group. And also you have the office hours, which you can ask the instructor if you have any questions. So for the job placement, so today Ahmet wasn't able to join, but we have the lead of job placement team, Ahmet, and he together with his team. They will help you with the mock interviews. They will help you with resume building, how to apply for jobs, where to apply. We teach, right, those soft skill enhancements, right, during the boot camp. Some knowledge about the market. So how is the market right now? What to do during, right, where to apply and everything. Oops, I had a problem with my presentation. I'm sorry, guys. Let me open it again. I'm really sorry. Okay, just 1 second. So let me start my presentation again. Okay, I'm sorry. Let me go back to wherever I was. So as I said, right, knowledge about the market. We have mentoring sessions with you. We have alumni. So there are a lot of alumni, maybe in their job, there is an opening, they will share with you so that you're going to be able to apply, right? And then also how to negotiate your salary. So there are a lot of companies that sometimes they want to give you a low salary, even though generally, guys, in the United States, companies are fair. Whatever the position it is, whatever your knowledge is, they try to give you the whatever matches you. But sometimes there are some companies that they try to give you a low offer, and we also going to help you, especially when you get multiple offers, to make sure that you are getting the best of those offers. So you can go yourself, guys, go to Google, look for software development engineering test, or short as that. Google it. What is the salary, guys? The general salary in United States, guys, is around 100K. So it's plus minus, right? So we have had students who have had also 120, 130. We also have students who have 90 and 100. So depending on the company, depending on the state, but the average is above 100K right now, okay? And as I said, this is according to Glassdoor. There are different, right? There are different companies which you can search yourself. So a lot of our alumni are working in our, right, are working in different companies. So these are some of the companies that our alumni have been working. You can, right, and of course, we have a lot of questions that we can share with you before you go to the interviews in some of the companies that our alumni have been interviewed, have been passing the interview, and they're working there. And if there is a job opening there, they will definitely suggest it to other people. So these are in general, guys. So now Eric will go over the pricing and the discounts that we have right now. Make sure that you follow that part, guys. And then again, I'm going to come back at the end and then get your questions if you have any questions again. So
All
Eric,
right, thanks,
you're
Ivan.
there. Yeah.
Let me just go ahead and share my screen. And folks, if you can just let me know if you're able to see my screen where it says average cost of IT education. If you can just give me a Y in the chat there for yes. Should be a PowerPoint where it says average cost of IT education. Just want to see if you can, to make sure you can see that.
Yes.
Got it? Okay, very good. Thank you, Donna. Well, let me ask you folks this. How many of you know someone who got a degree and they aren't even working in that field? I have family that spent tens of thousands of dollars to obtain degrees, and they actually never worked in those fields. Check out the average cost of college tuition these days. Some of you probably know all about this. You know, if you've got kids that are going into college, you already know how crazy the costs are. Now, granted, you can get a scholarship, you can, get grants, and things like that. But when you throw in all the extras, such as room, board, supplies, other expenses, you're looking at, on average, over $36,000. That's per year. For a private university, you're looking at 40, 50, 60, 70 plus $1,000 per year. So think about this. After 4 years, let's say you didn't have a scholarship, you didn't have a grant or anything like that. You're looking at over $200,000, sometimes even more than that you're in debt now. Now, here's the next question. Do these universities have any incentive to help you find a job after you get your degree? No, they really don't. So I'll just throw out some names, and I don't mean to disparage any of these universities, but just, what if you went to Berkeley or University of Texas or University of Virginia or NYU, whatever the case may be, they're not incentivized to help you find a job. So you spend all this money on this degree, but you might not be able to work in that field, or you might just change your mind. You might decide, hey, this isn't really for me. Maybe the industry has changed since you first got, started in college, 4 years prior. A lot of things could happen. Now, when it comes to boot camps, check this out. The average tuition for a boot camp, what we're talking about tonight, the average tuition out there is over $13,000. And that's unattainable for a lot of people. So here's what we've done to help everyone get their new career and really their new life started. We have the tuition broken down into two parts, and I want to walk you through how it works. All right. So we would love it if everyone on the webinar became one of our students and ultimately a graduate, but a boot camp can be, again, cost prohibitive for a lot of folks. So to help out with the cost of tuition, we came up with a very creative way to make it attainable. So instead of being responsible for the entire tuition up front, the regular tuition, as you can see, is $52.49. What we've done is the way we do it is you pay a portion of the tuition, and then we help you find a job after graduation. So check this out. Regular tuition, $52.49. We offer an early bird discount of $200 off. And that deadline is coming up here, September the 1st. I'm looking up here at my calendar. We are at the 19th. So you're looking at, a little less than 2 weeks away. So you take 200 off, early bird discount. We also offer, for you guys who are attending tonight, we offer a webinar discount, which gives you an extra $50 off. Make note of that code, write that down, webinar 50, and that brings the tuition down to $49.99. But watch this. You pay in only 7 monthly installments of $714 per month. Now, I mentioned a moment ago, average boot camp out there is over $13,000. You might spend all that time not even learning the things that you really need to learn to excel in that first job. And most of them won't help you find a job afterwards. They're not incentivized to do it the way that we are, because watch this. What we do is we have a placement fee, which is equal to 85% of only your first month's salary after you find a job. So again, you don't pay this if you can't find a job. And even that is paid in 4 monthly installments. So what that boils down to is we are incentivized to not just train you, to not just make you an expert in your field, but we're also incentivized to help you find that first job. So again, your tuition, $49.99, divided into 7 monthly installments of $714 a month. And then there's a placement fee. And the reason we're doing it this way, guys, is because we don't want you to have to pay the entire tuition up front. So it puts us, rather than being on opposite sides of the table, we are now on the same side of the table because we are incentivized to help you find that job. But don't worry, you're not giving us everything you have. It's just 85% of your first month's salary, of only your first month's salary, and that's divided into 4 monthly installments. So it's just a great way to help get you started. We're incentivized to do whatever we can to help you land that first job. Now, we also offer other discounts, referral discounts when referred by a Neotech student or alumni. Just let us know, who has referred you. Also, we encourage people to sign up in groups. Now, these are people that you've already known, not someone you just met on the chat here in the webinar. But the way this works is if you sign up in a group of 2, each student gets $150 off. If you sign up in groups of 3, each student gets $200 off. If it's groups of 4 or more, get in touch with us and we'll work something out. Now, here's why we encourage groups. Because you can encourage each other. You can help motivate each other, help solve problems, do your homework together, even refer each other potentially to some other job opportunities. It's kind of like going to the gym with your buddy. So you got your gym buddy. Now it's going to be your boot camp buddy. So you might ask, what if I change my mind later? That's okay. There's no deposit. There's no application fee. You don't pay anything until the boot camp actually kicks off. You start paying when the classes begin, not before, and you can cancel for free anytime until the boot camp starts on September the 15th. And you have a 30-day money-back guarantee, so 100% refund, no questions asked, if you decide to leave anytime until October the 15th. So that's why I like to say there's no risk here. You're not in any kind of risk. We're taking the risk because we want to do everything we can to help you land that first job. We can't guarantee you'll get a job right away, but we will help you out. We are on the same side of the table with you. We're incentivized to help you land that first job, which is really what it's all about. Not just getting educated, but getting that job. You can learn more about the bootcamp by simply going to neotechacademy.com/bootcamp. You can also book a call with our admissions team. So neotech.live, you see the address up there, /call. If you're not ready to call, that's fine. Just submit any type of interest you have. Just go to neotechacademy.com/apply. And folks, be sure to secure your spot now. Don't pass up this opportunity. Don't procrastinate. I have a buddy who, he's been telling me for years he's going to read War and Peace. And, he got the book, I don't know how many years ago. And I asked him, I remember not too long ago, so what chapter are you on? And he goes, I think I'm still in chapter 1. So it's just human nature to put things off. We always have enough time to do something until we don't. We have enough time to do it until we don't. Think about where your life could be 6 months after the boot camp. 6 months after the boot camp, you've got the skill set that nobody can take away from you. And imagine how that can change your life, to be able to do the things that you want to do, to have the freedom that you deserve, to make the kind of money you deserve, to have the benefits that you deserve. Email us for any questions, team@neotechacademy.com. Again, schedule a phone call, or you can call us directly, 929-566-3919. Now let's quickly examine or compare Neotech with other ways of learning skills in the IT industry. Some people like to teach themselves. We won't go through all of these in the interest of time, but let's say you're self-taught. All right. So why join Neotech Academy? If you're self-taught, how much time will it take? Who knows how long it's going to take you? You're doing it yourself. Most people, again, procrastinate. So it might take them years to try and learn the skills that we're going to teach you. And by the time they learn all these things on their own, the technology will have changed. The market will have changed. So our technology, our education is, you see right here, learning content is market driven. But getting back to this, the time it will take you, it's who knows? Us, it's 6 months. University is 4 years or more. Online courses, it's self-paced. How will you learn? If you're self-taught, obviously it's by yourself. So you are your own expert also, which, it's like trying to teach yourself how to do surgery. Never a good thing. I mean, guys, would you want to get surgery from someone who taught himself how to operate on patients? Neotech Academy, learning, hands-on, live, real teachers. University, how is that learning done? Well, it's typically not interactive. I mean, the classes can be so big. Online courses, they're unsupervised. So again, university, yeah, you might have an industry expert trainer. Most of the time, you probably don't, because I remember back when I was taking business classes, I didn't have a single professor who had actually started a business. So they knew things in theory. Guys, you've got people such as Elion. You've got Metz, who you didn't get to meet tonight, but he's normally on this webinar with us, who are not only expert trainers, but they're actually doing it. They're actually out there in the real world doing it. So you're learning from people who are actually doing it, which is the way that you want to learn anything, really. I mean, if you're learning how to fly a plane, would you want to learn from an actual, pilot or just someone who says, well, I think this is what you're supposed to do? Career services, if you're self-taught, there's nothing. Ours is extensive and individualized. University can be generic and limited. Online courses, of course, it doesn't exist. Talked about the learning content a moment ago. Ours is market-driven. University, very theoretical. We also offer folks one-on-one mentorship and nearly 24/7 technical support. So again, why Neotech Academy? We are passionate and we are motivated in helping our students. You heard from one of our students earlier, Mohammed, that's a very inspiring story. And we have so many stories like that, hundreds of students who were, again, just like you, tuning into a webinar, wondering, what is this whole thing about? And the next thing you know, they're in the boot camp. 6 months later, they got their career going after they took the boot camp and didn't regret it. Very few people actually regret this. That's another thing as well. It's not like you went through it for 6 months, people go through it for 6 months and they're like, man, I wish I hadn't really done this. Because now again, you got that skill set, you've got the potential for making money that you really truly deserve to be making, and you got the freedom. You got kids. You can attend the kids' functions at school. You don't have to say, well, dad, mom has to work in the office, 12 hours a day. You've got that freedom to do what you really want to do. And again, you learn from people who have actually done it. Well, I'm going to bring back Elion here. So, folks, if you have any final questions for us, please just go ahead and let us know. I have a feeling I know what one of the first questions is going to be. Usually it's about the tuition.
Yeah,
Let's see what we got here.
So, yeah, guys, if you have any questions, we can go over the questions. So one of the questions is this course only for QA? Yes, this boot camp, right, that we're talking about is about QA, right, or as that. So you learn. So when you talk about IT industry, guys, it's very, very broad. So there are a lot of things there, right? So it's network engineer, database, software architect, a lot of things. And learning all of them, it's impossible to learn those in 6 months. This is the first step for you to start working in the IT industry. So you can start working as a QA, and then after you learn that one, after you start working for a couple of years, then you can switch to other, let's say, other parts of the IT industry, right? As I said, network or other, or as let's say DevOps, database architect, and stuff like that. I applied already, so how will this go on the 15th? So if you can I start sharing, Eric?
Yes.
So that I can control my screen. Okay. So let me go over Brian's question. So it's about the fee here, right? About the tuition. So the normal tuition is $5,249. So if you apply, right? If you apply right now before September 1st, you get a $200 early bird discount. So you're early, right? You're registering before September, so you get a $200 off. And also today, since you're joining this webinar, you're getting also an extra $50 off. So this brings you down to $4,999. So this one can be paid with installments. So there is interest-free installments, guys. You can pay it monthly, and it will bring you, right? You have to pay $700 per month. So it's 7 months, right? So the first payment will be done on September 15th, and it will be, right? It will be for 7-month installments. After you're done with the bootcamp, guys, you're going to apply for a job. Sometimes it takes you 2-3 months. Sometimes it takes you faster. Sometimes it takes you more. After you find the job, guys, also we get the second part, right? We get this part only after you find the job. This is the placement fee. This is 85% of your first month's salary. It's gross, of course. So let us suppose that you're getting a salary of $100K a year, which makes around, let's say, $8,000 a month. 85% of that, it will be 7,000, let's say 400, whatever, like you can do the calculation. And then that will be, right, that will be the placement fee, the part where you are, that you have to pay after you find the job. Of course, also that part, you don't have to pay it upfront. Also that will also be paid with installments, meaning that you find a job, you settle down, and then you start paying the placement fee, which is the second part. We split this one in 2 parts, guys. First of all, to make sure that you are not paying too much at the beginning. That's one of them. The second thing also to show to you guys that we believe on this process. We believe that you're going to be able to find the job at the end. That's why we're splitting the responsibility between us and you. So if you have any questions about the fee, there is the fee, right? 2 parts. One during the bootcamp, and the second part after the bootcamp, after you find the job. Just 1 second, Henry. Let me finish with the questions here. So also, guys, if you know somebody, right? If Neotech alumni, right? If you have a student there, if they refer to you guys, you get an extra discount because you're referred by somebody. Or maybe you are a group of 2 people. So if you are 2 people together, it's good for you because you are doing together, you're helping each other. It also gives you another discount of $150 each of you. And also, of course, it's good for us because we have even more students. Okay, so that's why if you have a group of 2, 3, or 4 people, try to do it together and then try to motivate each other. That's the good thing. So we have a lot of discounts, guys, and make sure that you are getting, right, you're being able to get all of these discounts. So now you don't pay anything right now. So I think I saw a question about I applied now. So you go to the website, right, that Eric showed, you do the application there for the bootcamp. Until 15th, guys, of course, somebody will call you. You're going to schedule a call with one of our specialists. They're going to talk to you about the bootcamp, about the discounts. And let's say you are okay, you sign the contract. Even if you sign the contract right now, guys, you don't have to pay anything until September 15th. So you pay the first installment of $700 on September 15th. Then, guys, we have another extra thing for you. That's why it's good for you guys to try all these things to make sure that you are, right, you are doing this thing with the information needed. You try the bootcamp, guys, for 30 days. If you like the classes, if you like the bootcamp, if you like everything there, we're gonna announce before October 15th, let's say on October 12 or 13, we're gonna say, guys, students, do you want to continue or do you want to drop off? If you want to continue, we continue with the second payment of the bootcamp. If you decide to drop off, if you don't like it, if it's difficult, if English is difficult or whatever, then we also gonna refund you the first payment. We have done this one, guys, in the previous batches. We have a percentage of 3 to 5% of people who drop off. We know it, we accept it, and it's okay with us because we don't want people who will be a headache for us. We want people who take this one seriously, who want to do it, and then who will dedicate themselves, to commit themselves until the end, okay? So that's why, if you don't like it, guys, we're gonna refund you. We are doing this one because we want to make sure that you are relaxed, you don't have any stress, you tried and you decided for your own. And even if you don't like it, even if you don't want to do it, I know for sure that you're going to suggest it to somebody else because that is, right, that is, I mean, a lot of people, they know they want to try, they want to see something for themselves, okay? So these are about the payments, these are about the dates and everything. Let me see if any other questions. So I don't know if I answered your question, Nathaniel. I have a question. Do you have any possibility changing the schedule such as, oh, we're sorry. Weekdays, we're not possible to change that because this schedule is done for all the students. If you're not able to join it, as I said, you can watch the recordings, but if you don't like it that way, it's not possible. It's not that easy for us to change the schedule. So it's something that we cannot promise, okay? Other questions? So you can find me on LinkedIn, Henry. Again, you can see my LinkedIn profile, definitely. So also we have other teachers, and also the same thing also for the students. We don't want to expose students to other people. That's because they're finding a job and they don't want to be bothered by the others. That's why if you have any questions, you can ask your questions here, okay? Do you have any other questions, guys, before I end the webinar? So I don't know if you have any questions about, so make sure that you go here, you apply, guys. You don't pay anything. You talk to some specialist, schedule a call, and then after that, after you, let's say, secure the deal, you're ready for September 15th. Any other questions? Do we have to pay the placement fee after the first job? So that is a good question. So here it is, guys. So after you find the job, you pay the placement fee, and as I said, you pay it with installments. If you are laid off during, I don't know, 6 months or something, or if you have any problems and if you find another job, definitely we also help you with, right? Definitely we'll also help you with a second job with no extra fee. But of course, if you work there for 2 years and then you come back, of course, we're going to get a small extra fee for another job in, like, I don't know, let's say in 2 years. So we can talk about the details there, but Yeah, so you have a lot of questions. Please make sure you schedule, because I cannot answer all your questions here. You go here, schedule a call, talk to a specialist, and then you can have answer to all your questions about all the details. And as I said, all the discounts you can have. Okay. Okay, guys. Thank you for joining the webinar. I hope that I see you in the first day on September 15th. Have a good night, everyone. Bye-bye.